I can't think of the word, just like bonuses for people that do bring out, like, for instance, your father, where he got bribed by a dentist to join them, and that's what type of fund we should have to bring out the corruption, as far as giving them, bonuses for bringing stuff out like that.
That's just a schizophrenic statement. I appreciate your call. My dad got bribed by a dentist. They show some photo all over the internet of a guy named David Jones with bald head with gray hair, about a foot taller than my dad, and then say that's my dad. I mean, it's just totally insane. But I appreciate. I mean, it's whatever, man. Let's take another phone call here. Let's go ahead and talk to Don in Michigan. Don, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Okay, how you doing, Alex? Hope you have a good New Year.
Good. Go ahead.
I just wanted to. I guess my biggest thoughts right now, and I try to jot them down before you let me on there. City Council. I've listened to you for about a year and a half, and I'm a hypocrite because I haven't done it yet. But today I printed out my City Council meeting, and I want everybody to do that. Find out what time it is. It's only an hour of your day. Go listen to everybody. But as far as the gas prices, $4 to $5 a gallon, that was predicted, I think, on your show on October 22nd. I made somebody write it down at work, and we can see that coming. So your show is just, the information is just incredible. I mean, the information is just, it's spot on. And I saw, one thing I wanted to point out is I saw in mainstream news today, excuse me, autism, 600% increase in 20 years, 1 in 110 kids. Now, if that doesn't tell people that evil things are being done, then you're just blind. Miscarriages with the flu shots.
Well, they always knew that flu shots increased miscarriages and you don't give them to pregnant women. Last year they said this is just for women. Those are great points. And I think Jaron just corrected me. I get defensive about family because I know how good they are and people have attacked my family and lied about them. I think the caller misunderstood a story I told last week, and Jaron remembered that, and I think Jaron was right, so I apologize to the last caller from Michigan before Don, James. There's a whole conspiracy theory out there that my dad hangs out with George W. Bush because there was a David Jones with a different middle name at a event in Houston years ago where they put a statue up, and they just say, that's his dad, that's him, he works with the Bushes. Of course, if people really wanted to talk about that, my dad has been in barbecue a couple times with George W. Bush because my sister went to the same school, private school here in Austin as his daughters did. But, I mean, I guess I'm guilty. I've told that story before. But the caller was talking about Homeland Security, not another dentist. Not another dentist. I told the story last week, and that'll get twisted around against me. It just doesn't matter. It's mental illness. I'm not by the caller, but by others. My father was approached by Homeland Security, someone in Homeland Security, not another dentist. He was approached by Homeland Security to spy on people. And it wasn't because he was my dad. Okay, they said, we want to hire you. We're trying to hire basically all professionals. And that's been in the news, that it's InfraGard and these citizen spy groups that they're doing this. And then my dad went back in the lounge and told another dentist about it, who, by the way, is a fan of my show, who's a good guy, Dr. King. And Dr. King said, yeah, I got approached 2 weeks ago by Homeland Security in my neighborhood, came and knocked on my door and tried to recruit me. So that's the story, not whatever they make up or mix together. Okay, we're going to come back with Bob Chapman and more of your phone calls straight ahead. And in fact, I'll get Bob's brief take on that. How many people must they be trying to recruit if in a dental office of 4 dentists, 2 of the dentists have been hit up in the last month separately by different arms of Homeland Security?
This is not a drill. Repeat, this is not a drill. Gun sales are on a staggering pace. Gun prices are going through the roof, and that means desperate, vicious criminals now want your guns and will do anything to get them. Now, a new book reveals powerful secrets for hiding your guns from thieves and looters. You'll learn step-by-step, battle-hardened techniques, where to hide your guns so criminals will never find them, how to create the perfect hiding place, as well as the places you should never hide your guns, under any circumstance. These and other closely guarded gun caching secrets are guaranteed to keep your weapons safe and out of sight when the going gets tough. But listen up. For security reasons, the Hide Your Guns book and even the website may disappear without warning at any time. Go to hideyourguns.com. That's hideyourguns.com. Or call 877-327-0365 before they come for your guns. Hideyourguns.com right now. Right now.
A very wealthy U.S. citizen is predicting that in 2011, we will witness the most important day in America in more than 50 years. He says it will change everything about our lives. The way you shop, travel, invest, educate your children, and even how you take care of your health and your own family. Now, this man has made some outrageous predictions over the years. The crazy part is, he's usually right. You see, he predicted the collapse of GM, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, and America's biggest mall owner, General Growth Properties. In fact, Barron's called his work a dire prophecy. Recently, he created a video, which you can watch online for free, detailing his biggest and most important prediction yet. And it's a real eye-opener. I can't stress this enough. You should at least watch this free video online today. He explains everything you need to know, including simple steps you can take to protect yourself. You can find the video at www.endofamerica3.com. That's endofamerica3.com. Watch the free video at www.endofamerica3.com. That's endofamerica3.com.
Gold isn't for you? Ted Anderson, president of Midas Resources, one of the world's premier gold and precious metal investing firms. I get it. You wouldn't buy gold if you believed that the government is doing a great job, that the Fed will stop handing out trillions of dollars like bailout candy, that Social Security would be there for you. That's not what's happening. You might even pass on gold if the stimulus package wouldn't fuel inflation, or that the dollar wouldn't lose value, or that your retirement would be secure. If all looks rosy to you, then now is not the time to buy gold. For the realist, there have never been more sobering reasons to diversify with gold. Since 2001, the U.S. dollar index has tanked 30% while gold has risen 300%. Right now, savvy investors are adding gold to their portfolios. You should too. Find out what they know. Call us and I'll send you 10 reasons why gold will do very well, free. 800-686-2237. 800-686-2237. That's 800-686-2237.
Did you know that you can be tracked and traced when you're online? With identity theft and cybercrimes on the rise, your passwords, your identity, and even your physical location can be revealed to complete strangers. Would you like to surf the internet anonymously and not have to worry about these threats? Well, now you can by visiting patriotinternet.com. For about $2 per month, patriotinternet.com will conceal your IP address and your physical location, allowing you to browse the web, send emails, and instant message anonymously. Patriotinternet.com will bypass filters, block sites, and keyword blocking. You can also bypass logging by your router and your ISP. With PatriotInternet.com, there is no software to install and uses 128-bit encryption for your protection. When using wireless hotspots, PatriotInternet.com shields your information from identity thieves and is compatible with Windows, Mac, and Linux. Protect your identity and your freedom with anonymous internet access from PatriotInternet.com. Visit PatriotInternet.com today.
Geyser's coming up in about 35 minutes. We'll continue with open phones. Bob Chapman's got some big news to lay on you. I've got a lot of news I want to throw out at Bob and get his take on. But before we go back to calls, I mean, Homeland Security admits that they're rolling out TSA on the streets of America, telescreens, now at 9,000 locations, tattletale squads. But it really hits home when they're not just trying to recruit the preachers, they're trying to recruit your dad. And then your dad goes and talks to a colleague, and they're like, yeah, they tried to recruit me. I mean, that is really creepy. That sounds like worse than the Stasi, Bob.
Well, I was, when you first said it, when we went off to the break, what right through my head right away was the NKVD, and then the Stasi. I knew exactly what those people used to do. and because we used to spy on them. And, of course, after the war, you got the Gestapo recruitment and Operation Paperclip, and that was followed by the wall coming down. A deal was made to let everybody off the hook who was involved in that sort of thing in Eastern Germany previously. Marcus Wolf was responsible for the death of thousands and thousands of people, and nothing was ever done to him. And then they brought to the United States experts from what used to be East Germany, and the U.S. recruited them to tell them how to do exactly what Homeland Security is doing today.
And we reported that 8 years ago. It was even in the mainstream news, and people couldn't believe it. I mean, they're really doing it. And already with dentists and doctors and nurses, it's like, oh, ask kids if their parents are abusing them. Preemptively, guilty until proven innocent. And it's the same thing now worldwide. And once they've got them trained to spy on that, now it's, by the way, what's their political views? Well, I mean, who's going to watch the government, Bob? Who's going to keep control of the tyrants? Where's the Homeland Security to counterbalance Homeland Security?
Well, if George Orwell were around, he would have his head in his hand saying, I never thought it would really get this bad, and it's worse now.
Well, the good news is, though, they're not able to just to arrest everybody at once. They're trying to set it up, but they're not really rolling out, moving against everybody yet. Sure, they tried to plant hand grenades on you. They've tried stuff like that with yours truly over and over again. But you know, for the average person out there, they're not going to really do anything to you, folks. We're invincible. We've got the numbers. That's why they're trying to get all these spies, because they want those numbers. But they're not going to get it.
They're trying to build a giant database. I mean, look what they're doing, and this is a trial run with people who are citizens of Mexico. If you want to go to the United States now, you have to have a visa, but you have to be biometrically eyeballed, and you have to have your fingerprints.
But then if you're an illegal, they just leave you alone, though. It's the folks that want to do it right that they harass.
That's right, and they're building a database. And, of course, the present, well, we'll call it a regime that's in power in Mexico, is going right along with the program, because they're in office because the election was rigged and the neocons came in and rigged it for them. And they're not going to get away with it again.
And that's even come out in the Dallas Morning News, of all places, that the same folks that run Bush's operation, George W., were running it down in Mexico. And in Mexico, they make the Attorney General's employees take microchips. That's 6 years old. They, 2 years ago, made it where all cell phones are tracked in live time, and you can't have a track phone. They don't have gun ownership. What do you make of this? Then we're going to go to break, come back with calls, where the feds are now ordering border states with no law, Bob, to report more than one semi-automatic handgun or rifle being sold. I mean, that's extrajudicial. They're just doing that without law, and it's the same thing with the EPA. The Congress wouldn't pass their greenhouse gas takeover, so they're just doing it, and they've now seized control of the Texas permitting process with no authority, and literally will shut down many of the power plants in Texas, and they have no force of law behind them. They're just doing it.
They just do what they want to do. And I'm afraid we've said that on this program innumerable times. And they're going to continue to just stay outside the law and do it until people bring legal action against them, counties, cities, say, no, we're not going to do that. And once you have one case, it's over, because they'll have to stop. But it's the process that you have to go through. It's just like the regulatory agencies, the CFTC and the SEC. You file a complaint, they're arrogant, nasty, and never follow up on it. All they do is protect the ensconced bankers that are on Wall Street, etc.
Well, you said it. We know there was a Bilderberg Group deal 2 years ago struck in Turkey dealing with Texas power plants. I'll tell folks about that when we come back.
We're on the march. The empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
This is Alex Jones with 5 good reasons you should consider buying a solar power generator.
Number 1, new climate legislation could easily double or triple